You know that feeling when you like leave the house dead on time, pull out onto the main road and immediately get stuck behind a bin lorry, a bus, all in a line, and one of them really big lorries that carries like 10 cars, you know what I mean? I don't know what they're called. It's like, cool, it's gonna be one of them days. It doesn't matter if I left on time or early, I was gonna be late today. The gods decided. Then later on the route, get stuck behind like 2 big coaches, and I pull up, start walking towards the bus, about like 15 meters away maybe, and then it drives off. Always look for a bright side though, and that bright side is the fact that I really needed a wee, and because I didn't get on that bus I was able to go and have a wee, and I wouldn't have to sit cross-legged until we got to work. I'll try my best to have a good day today. It's our last day with a tester, so I'm going to try and get our money's worth out of him. He goes on holiday tomorrow. I'm hoping to try and get this story deployed. The problem is it's got to go through code review and no one else is in to code review it, so it's going to be a bit awkward. What I'll probably end up doing is kind of deploy it into dev without being code reviewed. I'll open up a pull request to code review, but I can't actually sign it off until someone comes in to do that for me, I guess. But it's lunchtime and it's time for a sweeping generalisation. Why is it that Asian people, i.e. like people from China or Japan or similar countries, are so obsessed with taking photos of stuff? They just like walk up to somewhere, literally I've seen it while I've been sat in this park 3 times, it's just a park, there's nothing exciting about this park. I don't think it's got any like historical shit or anything. Walk in, just go bam bam bam, 3 photos, get out. Like they came for that photo, they left that photo. When I went to that top of that hill and had a look over, a taxi came up, stopped, a load of Chinese people. I don't know, is there a technical name for that kind of ethnic group? Apart from Asian. Because the question is, are Indian people who are in Asia look different to... Anyway, you know what I mean? That's a different ethnic group, isn't it? Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Without being racist. They literally, taxi, drove up, got out, took about 5 photos, got in the taxi, drove back. What's going on there? What is with that culture? And also, I have another pet peeve I want to talk about. Assuming that's like a cultural thing, they must have like just a shitload of memory cards or something like that. I don't know. Fuck knows. I know cameras are really cheap in China and like Japan because that's where they're all made. So maybe there's that. But either way, something that really irritates me, and my dad does this so much, right? He'll go somewhere and then he'll take photos. Like, I don't take photos, by all means, I go places, I take photos. But what Dad does is they stand in just a normal, it's just a normal street. Nothing exciting about this street at all. He'll go, photo, 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 photo. Put his phone down, carry on walking. Those photos of? You didn't take a photo of anything, you just took a photo of a street. Why did you pan? Take a photo of something. Like, I don't get it. They do it all the time by the Abbey. They'll take a photo of the Abbey, and I'm like, yeah, cool, it's a cool Abbey, whatever, it looks great. And then they'll just pan around to like the street and take a photo of the street. Why? Why do you do it? I don't take a photo of something, not anything. What do people do with all these photos anyway? They just like, because whenever I take photos, I go through them all, pick the ones I like the most and archive them and delete the rest. Well, no, I keep them, but I, for all intents and purposes, delete them. Do people have like just a huge archive and then look through every now and again? The only reason I keep some is because there might be some weird scenario where I'm like, oh, I need kind of a photo of like a pattern. And I normally take photos and things like that, so I'll be able to go through and find one. But yeah, most of the time I just kind of keep a favourites folder within each day of photos. And then I just use that folder. Jesus Christ, I'm up to my absolute neck at work. I'm trying to work with the operations guy to try and get our infrastructure to not be on fire. Basically, as soon as you deploy our service fabric cluster, the service, without any applications installed to it, they all just start basically DOSing themselves. Just finished code reviewing some JavaScript stuff, and it's like all there, but it's like in the wrong places. So I'm gonna have to sit with him tomorrow and get them in the right places. The thing I'm currently working on is like getting there. It's basically done. It just needs to talk to the very back end. And I've also done an interview today, and I'm booked in for an interview tomorrow. Well, I did a telephone interview today, and I've got a full fat interview tomorrow, along with another interview on Monday. In the absence of everyone else, I'm everyone's go-to man, so it's been hectic. I also missed my bus. Also going to very quickly try and extend my the technical test that we have, so that it's actually good. The technical test I did wasn't like amazing. Well, it wasn't amazing for me. And we're about to be doing a contract test, so I'm going to throw in some interesting testing ones, because I do love a good tester. It's been a busy day, it's been very hectic, and it's going to be a late night, especially if I want to get some of my own stuff done. Oh Lord, it's just like 2 people go on holiday, the 2 people that normally sort stuff, because they're like, one of them's the manager and one of them's been there longer than me. Everything hits the fan. So we're going to come back on Monday. They're going to be like, what did you do? And I'm like, fucking nothing. Everything just burnt down. It wasn't me, alright? Bloody hell, I think I've stayed up a little bit too late sorting out a video and doing technical interview questions. I think I've got a nice technical test which like kind of, it's open-ended enough for you to be able to express yourself, but also kind of like guides you into what we're expecting. It's a lot better than the technical test I did, so I think anyway. And I've also done some suggested answers and all that kind of malarkey. Otherwise we went shopping because I find it really difficult to estimate how much butter you use in a week. I always find that I badly estimate that and then end up with not enough butter. So we went shopping, picked up some butter. We did like the ironing and, not the ironing, did clothes washers, defrosted the freezer, washed orange is the new black, and yeah, I've just sorted out all of that stuff. I haven't done any programming today, so that's not good. It is as well, when I go through phases of like being this busy, and I've basically been doing fucking work for the past 2 hours, it's gone 1 in the morning, is I go through stages yearly where I research those sleep cycles where you like stay awake for 6 hours and nap for 30 minutes, 6 hours, 30 minutes, 6 hours, 30 minutes. They really interest me, and I really want to be able to try it out, but it's obviously quite devastating. It's quite awkward. I have to find somewhere to have a nap at work, for example. Oh, it's been a long day, but it's Friday tomorrow. Hopefully today will be a little bit less stressful than yesterday. We have a strategy for fixing our infrastructure, i.e. rip it all the fuck down and reinstall everything. So hopefully we can get our infrastructure back up and running, and I'll be able to get the submit stuff ready for deployment, which means going through pull requests, but no one's around to pull request it. Still got no one to code review it, so it's probably not going to go live till Monday anyway, but so really I couldn't give monkeys about the infrastructure as long as it works by Monday. I think I was saying yesterday about photos, like Dad would literally just go like photo, 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 photo. I mean, what's the point? Otherwise I'm going to try and help the UI guy integrate his new UI stuff with our existing UI stuff, so that should be good fun. I've got a technical interview later, of which the technical tests that I wrote last night at 1 o'clock in the morning, so that'll be great too. But it's Friday, so all is not bad. I'm running on a little bit, not quite so much sleep as I'd want to, but we'll survive. We always survive. So might end up like getting a nice hot chocolate or something to boost me through the latter half of the day, who knows. What's the first interview I have ever left where I was like, I don't know. I normally have a pretty good idea, but it's like, we're trying to say like, it's kind of as if they're kind of too clever and not necessarily, although obviously it's a difficult environment to engage in, not necessarily very personable. Whatever that word is. Not necessarily, although obviously it's a difficult environment to engage in, not necessarily very personable, whatever that word is. Kind of like running around in circles trying to figure out kind of all of us, like everyone, me and my boss who interviewed him, are like, he's really good in some respects, but there's just something about him, and we're just, it's really hard to put your finger on. Otherwise we had another day of relatively slow progress, relatively. It was a bit skitty-scatty all over the place. We was trying to rebuild the infrastructure, we couldn't get the security services up and deployed, which was a bit of a pain in the arse, and don't know why. It's still not working, so on Monday, hopefully we'll get somewhere. The problem is that our the scripts that we use to like build the service fabric instances aren't very mature, so there's like certain steps that we obviously took a while ago that we haven't documented or whatever. I say we, nothing to do with me, but otherwise, it's just been one of them days. Also, I'm having a really irritating problem on my own thing. Right, .NET standard, all that comes down to .NET versions again. The .NET framework 4.7 is .NET standard 1.6, like that's what standard it implements. Cool. So 4.7 can reference 1.6, happy days, it can do, right? So I'm running a a 4 points. Oh, is it .NET Core? Watch it be .NET Core just to dick me over. Basically, I have an ASP .NET Core, which is why .NET Core might be the main one. No, it's definitely 4.7. I have a full fat 4.7 ASP.NET Core MVC sitting on my security service, in my own security service. References a security policy which is stored in the domain model. The domain model is like the bit that basically like it sits in the middle and then things communicate with it. It's like the centralized point of the program, so that if I'm doing communication either via the MVC or via other things, they can all work into the same place. You have like anyway. So into the domain model, that references an object which is used to like have the policies on the security. So how long your like refresh token is and all that kind of garbage. MVC references it fine, spins up fine, works absolutely brilliantly. Cool. 4.7 unit test framework can test the test everything fine unless it needs to reference that 1.6 that version 1.6 thingamajig. The second it does that, it references it fine, happy days. When it tries to run, it gets a system, it can't load system.runtime 4.1.0. And I'm like, what the fuck? You should be able to do this. It should, like, you should just be able to do it. It's pissing me off. So, that's been irritating me. I've been, like, the problem came up on Tuesday, I think, and I've been trying to figure out a solution to it. But otherwise, we are heading to bed early. Laura's already asleep on settee. Because we are going back to Nottingham tomorrow. We're leaving very early. Someone upstairs seems like they're bouncing around something. We're leaving very early to make the most of the day. And yeah, we're heading back to Nottingham for the weekend. That isn't upstairs. That's Graham. That's Graham rolling around. Graham's still out. Lol. Forgot about that. So yeah, we're going back to Nottingham, so we've also been doing things like washing, I've done my ironing and all that garbage, packing bags and stuff. I'm hoping to get a semi-decent amount of programming done this weekend, but it depends. It's Saturday, and as a Saturday goes, it was a pretty bloody busy one, which meant that I didn't vlog. We drove up to Nottingham in the morning, we hit the road early, flew up, and then basically within about 45 minutes of getting there, I went out to town with Dad. And Laura stayed with her family and stuff when Mum got back from work. I went off to town with Dad and we did a bit of shopping. He was looking for some shoes that aren't shoes, but aren't trainers, but go well with shorts, but aren't shoes or trainers. Not boat shoes either, or any kind of shoe which normally goes with shorts, but aren't trainers or shoes. It was hard work, we didn't find any. So we just did that and had a just casual roll around with some standard shopping stuff. We also went to Wagamama's. I've been telling him how much I like Wagamama's, but he's never wanted to go because he thinks the menu's confusing for some reason. But he went and loved it, so that's all good. I actually didn't think he'd like it. I didn't think it'd be his style, but a bit of a snob now. Otherwise, I then went around. I went to my nana's to see her, watched a bit of tennis. We watched Venus Williams get knocked out. And then we went to an uncle's who Dad was going, he was planning some stuff. Firstly, Dad couldn't make his own hose pipe. He bought a hose pipe and he couldn't put it together. So we drove around to this uncle's friend. That's what I deal with, by the way. This is why I struggle with DIY stuff, is because he can't even do things like that. So yeah, but then otherwise, Sunday, today, he was going to Silverstone to go watch Formula 1 with that guy. So they went to do some planning stuff. I was super jealous about that. But they were both bought a single ticket for Christmas. So it's not like Dad picked him over me, so that's alright. We then went out shopping for a meal. We then went out for a meal at a nice pub for Laura's mum's birthday, which was pretty good stuff. And then we had quite a late night as well. We went, well, I say late night. It's 11:30. It's not really late, but it was late for everyone else but me, I guess. And yeah, that was Saturday. It was very jam-packed with being around other people. Basically, I didn't stop. There was like no gaps in between any of that stuff, which is why I didn't vlog a single second of it. Today is Sunday, however. We had a little bit more time, but I didn't really vlog much. We got up and we went out had breakfast and went out for a walk to around National Park thing around Nottingham. Had a cup of tea and whatnot. and then we came back to the house where I went to go and do some work on my laptop for a little bit, which is when I could have talked to you but didn't. I was trying to get my program working on my laptop and I just couldn't, it wouldn't run. And I know there's a problem at the moment where some of my unit tests won't work because I've got different versions of framework not wanting to talk to each other, but like none of it would work. And I'm like, it fucking should. Like Atlas works half, the cloud works the same way, why is my computer differently? And I went through trying to figure this out, and after a bit I was like, what's different about this? And I installed the preview version of Visual Studio 2017, and that's the problem. Well, I don't know if that's the problem, but I uninstalled that, re-repaired my main version. You're supposed to be able to have them both in parallel, but I have a feeling that it messed up some of the DLLs and whatnot that it was referencing. So while it was doing that, I solved my first ever Rubik's Cube today. I say solved. Laura's had one for years, never been able to solve it. I found I tried to do it myself first, because I've never tried a Rubik's Cube while being clever, if that makes sense. Like I've always had it as like a kid where I just spin it a couple of times and get annoyed at it. So being a clever, more grown up adult, I managed to be able to get like a side, but there's like an actual strategy to solving a Rubik's Cube, so I got nowhere near solving it. But I found a website where you can just type in all the colours and then it tells you exactly how to solve it, so that was pretty cool. And then we had a barbecue, and then we flew back down on the motorway and came back here. It's been very go 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 this weekend, it really has. It's very warm, it's going to be getting warmer over the next couple of days, and we've got work tomorrow. Seagull's having a fight or something, what's going on? I need to figure out my alarm situation because I keep turning it off. Apparently it was ringing for ages. I turned it off and then just went back to sleep till 25 to when Laura woke me up because of her alarm. And I need to figure that out. I'm gonna have to start using it on my phone as well or something. Weird, because like quite often, this always happens when I wake up in the middle of the night. When I wake up in the middle of the night, I always end up sleeping in a little bit. Anyway, today's gonna be fucking hectic because I literally turned around this morning in less than 50 minutes, which is like a lot, considering I had to make like my sandwiches, I had to have a shave, I had to do all of this kind of stuff. Tonight, I've got to go shopping on my own because Laura's going out with a work friend. Got to clean out Graham. All the stuff that we normally do at the weekend, but we now have to do on a Monday because we weren't here this weekend. To catch up my team with everything that's been going on because everyone's coming back today. So I've got to catch up everyone with what's gone on, what I've done, or what I haven't done. Got 2 interviews and something else as well, which is escaping my mind. Was there no scaffolding here the first time I walked down it? I knew I'd get the banter of we left you for a week and everything burnt down. I was expecting it, although some of the people that were there, like the BAs, they defended me, which was nice, so not too bad. I don't feel too bad for not being able to fix it because it's still not fixed. Well, hey, we have no idea why, but a certain service we've got, we fixed some certification issues with some other services, although we haven't fixed it properly, and another service we have just won't start, and it just won't boot it up. Service Fabric tries and just gives up, and we have no idea why. And we're really frustrated in the fact that our dev environment isn't backed up, so we weren't able to just kind of refresh from an image or anything like that. So, bit of a ball ache. Otherwise, I sat out of the first interview today while I had more stuff to do. Basically, I'm the only one who could do any work at the moment because there's no point anyone else doing anything because the infrastructure's down. I can do a little bit, but not much. So I sat out and did my little bit, but I did take part in the second interview, which was for a contract developer for our team. Normally it's just me and the manager, but this time it was me, the manager, and my mate, Dibs. And I've realised that I need to ask more technical based questions, because it opens eyes a little bit more. I think I would have still given the same response with my questions, but Dibble's questions like just nailing the coffin kind of thing. Struggling to find a place, and I think it's because we're trying to pick contractors, and contractors normally come in and work on a project themselves, and they have a project that they're responsible for, whereas here we kind of just need someone to be part of the team that can pick up anything and like still give experienced opinions on stuff, but essentially we just need a code monkey, really. We need another me. Basically I can do everything and I can just churn out a shitload of code. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get there in the end, ladies and gentlemen. Otherwise, I'm going shopping because Laura is not with me. She's at work with meeting friends. Things going on with students around here as well. It's brilliant. There's loads of them. They're everywhere and they're all in the way. It's a school outing, but to go shopping in Asda. It's weird. I say it quite often as well. It's not like a one-off, an uneventful shopping trip so far. You've got to remind me to get petrol. I don't need petrol, but you need to remind me to get it. Because the way we balance the who buys the petrol when we go back to Nottingham is I filled it up before we went, and then we get the petrol that we've just used out of the joint account so that we both pay for it. I always feel bad. Laura says I can get petrol out of the joint account, but I always feel bad. I always feel bad for that. She says you can do it, you know, and then I always go up to the till, pull out my joint card and go, put it back, get my own card. Can't wait to get into the fucking refrigerated aisles. It's so hot and I've got hiccups, it's really annoying. All done, and hopefully this time I haven't forgotten everything, but we won't find out till we get home. Otherwise, I've got to go get some petrol, and I need to let some air out of my tyres, because my tyres are in motorway mode, and that's not the kind of roads I'm on anymore. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? We're back. We've sorted everything out. Laura got back after I did, had some dinner, and I'm heading to bed early because I need to end this video, and I've already had such an unproductive day because I've had to be doing other stuff. There's no real point in jumping into anything, so I'll jump into it all tomorrow. Is my plan. For tomorrow we'll also fix our infrastructure issue, and I will jump back into programming, although Graham still needs cleaning out and stuff. I didn't have time to do any of that stuff because I've been so busy. Mondays are really busy days, especially when it's just me, just little old me. But yeah, so let's go to bed, try and wake up when my alarm goes off, and then we'll hit the next couple of days running. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'll catch you later.